What?
Ta-da.
Welcome to Wake Up Charlotte.
We do crazy things on this live stream.
We do. Well, you know, it's a little more loose and casual and hip and cool. And
wow, you sound so old.
When you're using hip and cool.
I know, hip and cool. You're just a hipster, man.
Yeah, that's me. You know it. So, folks, this morning we want to know, in honor of spring break approaching, it's coming up. Are you willing to drive to a different airport to save money on a flight? So say you're going to some far-flung location. Does it make sense to you if you can find a cheaper flight to, say, here in the Charlotte area, drive to Greensboro or Atlanta or Raleigh? Or
say you're going to Honolulu and you drive to San Francisco. You're going to get a heck of a deal.
You will get a deal for sure. So let us know. Weigh in. This got a lot of reaction this morning during the broadcast, so we want to know what you're thinking. And Kia is joining us right now. And Kia, this all stems from the fact that evidently Charlotte Douglas is a pretty pricey airport to fly out of.
Yeah, I mean, both of the Carolinas really are a mixed bag. So this morning we were talking about this report as to where airports in North and South Carolina fall on some of these ranked lists comparing airports across the country. And Charlotte, it was ranked number 8, like one of the most expensive in the entire country. And then when we were talking about what was topping that list, it looks like Alaska and Wisconsin. Alaska, I understand, are first and second when it comes to priciest airports. On the flip side, though, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach International, they were actually the 3rd cheapest. And if you're flying out of that airport, average ticket was about $240. So we did pull some numbers, me and some producers, just looking at flying out of Charlotte. What are some like more affordable tickets if maybe like folks are making some last minute travel plans? $50 gets you to New York or Orlando. $100 gets you to Nashville, Miami, or Dallas. So that's why we're asking if you drive to a different city to fly cheaper. So I know a couple of people have been chiming in already. One response was saying that they would drive as far as Philadelphia.
I just don't get that.
I mean, that I can't do. How many hours is that?
I guess 9 hours or something like that.
Oh my goodness! I mean, that's a work day.
Yeah, it says 8 hours because it's.
Look at this person choosing to fly out of Raleigh to London because it saved almost $2,000.
Wow,
that's insane.
That makes sense.
That's worth it. That's worth it.
What was the price of the ticket? That's
I don't know, but the flights you were showing were cheap. I was like, let's go to New York.
Bound, yeah.
Just random.
Go. $50?
And that's round trip. $50 round trip. Yeah.
What site?
Okay, that's what I'm going to find out like as soon as we're done broadcasting here because I'm like, okay, like.
I think that's Johnny's one-stop flight service.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see what the and then what are your baggage policies? Because I'm sure for $50,
no baggage.
No baggage.
Yeah,
you yourself and you.
You can always fly certain airlines where they pretty much give you a cracker for a tray table, and you have to pay for everything. So you have to also look into that. It's like, wow, this flight's really cheap, but then see what other costs go back into that. So.
I've definitely known people who've done Raleigh, which you did Raleigh last year.
I did, and you made fun of me.
I did make fun of you.
But it was...
Only because I think that we can take a poll on this one day, but I think the drive between Charlotte and Raleigh is the most painful 2.5 hours.
Well, I didn't drive. My husband drove. And we stayed with my brother, so we kind of made a little trip out of it, and it was cheaper.
Okay, that makes sense.
But Ben thought it was so funny. He just said...
I tell you what, I have some friends that do this quite often. If you think about you going to this airport here in Charlotte, which is a great airport, the hassle of getting there, parking, all that, if you go to Greenville, Spartanburg, or Greensboro, you park, get out, go right in, and you're gone.
It's a lot.
That's the difference.
Well, this is why we drive a lot anywhere we go because of our kids. I mean, by the time you get kids through...
Just the process of getting to the
it's such a pain. It's such a pain.
Wow.
Rather than just everybody pile in the car, throw your bags in, don't have to worry about weight.
I will say in defense of Charlotte Douglas is that unless you're talking about Atlanta, you get a lot more options about your flights. I mean, I know we gave the statistic, $240 was the average flight out of Myrtle Beach. But you're talking a very, very limited amount of flights.
Right.
You know, so it probably is going to be a lot less. Where Charlotte, you can fly literally
anywhere
around the world.
Yeah.
And it might be a little more expensive. But folks chiming in as well in the comments.
Dennis and Joy are saying that they're not really flying much. My thing is, though, I mean, if it were more affordable, Dennis and Joy, would y'all fly more? You know, this $50 ticket to New York? No, even though we get questions about amenities, but
or you just road trip it like I do.
Right. I think John is a voice of reason. No more than 2 hours. I think that can make sense. Because, for example, like I know people who've driven up to Greensboro, and you can get there in 2 hours.
Spartanburg, an hour and a half, 2 hours,
and save a couple of $100 in some cases. And My only thing on that is when you come back, then you have a 2-hour drive.
Oh, it's the worst.
Which is
Hey.
on the front end, it's not bad because you're excited.
But you know
you're
what?
going. You're like, let's
Getting
go.
out of the airport. I've had this. Getting out of that airport, getting into your car, and driving home. It's going to be 2 hours sometimes.
Yes.
In Charlotte. I mean,
I've
been
been
hassle here.
Not intentionally, but I've been diverted to Greensboro before on a flight, and then had to make the drive home.
Yeah.
After
that?
Not fun.
You don't like you don't like the road trips.
Admittedly,
if I have time.
I have done an hour and a half to go to an airport before to try to save some money, and it's true. It's the ride back. But if you say forget where you parked, then it's going to be over.
I always take a picture of where I park, so I'll remember.
Always have to do that. Me too.
You know what? At
Made a
first I
mistake
thought
once.
this was like excessive, and then I completely forgot. When I was in Green Bay, that was about 3 hours from Chicago's airport, and flying out of Green Bay and flying out of Chicago are two very different things.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
O'Hare is a very busy airport.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Growing up in Kenosha with O'Hare like 35 minutes away from the house, I forgot that that's not a luxury everywhere.
All right, folks, weigh in. Let us know what you think. Is it worth driving to a different airport to save a little money on an airline ticket? Let us know, and have a happy spring break if you are traveling.
Yeah.
We'll see you back here tomorrow.